I'd like to announce that a quorum is present. The meeting has been duly called and notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. The time is 6:06. Hello everyone. I hope everybody has had a good July off. Well, at least board members. Sorry guys. I know the staff has been working very hard. Hello everybody over there. How are y'all doing? Okay, we're in open session. And the first thing we have here is consider options to fill unexpired term of Mr. Jeff Knapp, who moved out of the district. So, according to TASB and all of their legalities, since Mr. Knapp has resigned with less than a year left in his term, we can either appoint or leave the seat open. So what we need to talk about now is which option we want to go with, not with who we want or what we want, you know, if we want to fill it. So I need a motion. I need a motion to discuss, or if somebody has a particular way they'd like to go. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion just to discuss the topic of replacing Jeff Knapp's position.
You don't need a motion to do
No,
that.
you need a motion. Oh, you need a motion.
That's which we said.
Which way to go?
I don't want to make that motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we leave the position open until the next election.
I'll second that. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Motion is second. Ms. Latham? Okay, discussion.
Well, you make the motion.
Yes.
I just feel like that it's a position that the voters ought to fill, and it's unfortunate that Jeff's gone. But I think we can do adequately without somebody, without having to bring somebody in and bringing them up to speed, even if it's only for a few months. And I think that the will of the board is sitting here with these the will of the people is sitting here with the 6 people that are sitting right now. And for us just to bring somebody in, I don't see any benefit in that.
Ms. Latham, would you like to, you seconded, would you like to speak to it?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not a big fan of appointing just because it is an elected office, and I think the people have, selected us 6. But I also think that we work well together, and I think we can pull it off with just 6 and just leave it open until the next election.
Sad to lose Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great asset to the board. Good survey. So, I know we'll thank him next Monday for his service. As far as the position, if we had 2 or 3, 4 months left, I think it would be logical to leave it open, but considering we're just starting a new school year, it would make sense to fill it if we have the right person. Now, in saying that, I guess there would be 2 different ways you could go about filling it. You could take applications. I personally don't want to do that because I think we have a lot of other things to focus on. I don't want to be spending a great deal of time focusing on looking for a new board member if we can just leave it open. So going through a whole formal process, I just am not up for. I think we've got strategic design that's going to be starting and some communication initiatives, some goals that we're looking at. So taking applicants, as some people have suggested to me in the public, is not something I'm just eager to take on. I'd rather leave it open. However, I think we're in a unique situation, without naming names, where we have a former board member who did not lose an election who might be interested. And if that were the case, I think that would be a perfect scenario in my opinion, because that individual would have been with us through the process of developing the initiatives we're working on this year. They were actual. So I guess I would be very selective if we were to fill the position. And I would want to do it quickly and be very selective about that.
Well, I feel like I'm kind of just, I do not, I agree with Julie, I do not like the idea of filling it with somebody that is unknown or someone who would maybe have aspirations for service. I don't know that that's the right path. I kind of feel like it, again, I guess if there was the right person, it could work, but I don't know that it's completely needed. I guess I kind of feel I can see the benefit of both. So I'm kind of on the fence on what I think is the best solution. Because I do feel that we can probably operate as is and be fine. So I guess that goes back to, depending on who that person is would be the deciding factor. And if that's the right person, if that's the right scenario. So.
Yeah, I kind of weigh two different ways. If we have the right person that we can place here and agree on, that's good. I don't know how well the public would take that if we don't take applications, but there's going to be a lot of applications, and probably we're going to have someone that hasn't, maybe they have aspirations to be on the board, but haven't even been to a board meeting, and they just want to do it. And I don't know that we need to train people to do that and to take our time. There's great people out there that can run when it's time to run. And I personally want to be careful about appointing anyone that has lost an election, no matter who they are. Because if they lost, there was a reason that they lost. So, yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Okay. Just a quick question, are you advocating that we put out for application for people? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying I think that'd be tough if we do put
Okay.
out applications, because we're gonna, my guess, and that's just me, is we're gonna get a lot. And some might be good and some, may not. And like Julie said, there's a lot of time that we take in there. But if we have the right person that the board can agree, like a past board member or something, then that would be good. If we can all agree on it, because right now we all need to grow together, to work together as a team, and we don't need a placement of a 7th board member to stop that from happening. So.
But along that same line, if you don't mind, you're right, we need to grow as a team, and I think that if it's just the 6 of us, that doesn't do anything but force that, right?
You're right in some ways, but what
Yeah.
if there's a split vote? I think that's probably our biggest thing if we have a split vote. Hopefully we won't.
I don't see.
Hopefully we're going to be working together well enough, but yeah.
I think it would be wise to, if we have a scenario with a former board member who's been a part of the process, was not last election. If we have that scenario in place, it would be the most responsible decision for us to utilize that person so that in the case, as a safeguard, in the case of where we may have a split vote. I don't want to look back and say, well, why didn't we, if we have the opportunity?
If I can,
Yes.
I talked to our attorneys to see, the legal ground that we're on in terms of deciding that. So just real quickly, in terms of what he said to me, the method of filling this, you have to discuss in open forum. You can in open session. You can in closed session discuss individuals who you consider to fill, but you cannot discuss in closed session whether or not you want to leave it vacant or fill it. But so I just want to kind of tell you that. You have that option. Several people said things about if you have this person, you can discuss individual people, names, in closed session, but you cannot discuss the method of dealing with the vacancy.
What if, on the side of compromise, we decide just to go 2 months, and I'll be glad to amend my motion. We go 2 months to see how it goes, and then make that decision whether we need that 7th board member or not. Would that be something that would be workable?
Can I speak up?
No?
Carol, can I speak up?
Yes, you may.
Is this a vote now?
You have been recognized by the chair, Ms. Lehman. He wasn't, so, you're all set.
No, I think we need to decide tonight.
I really do. Now, would you be willing to amend your motion by saying after discussion of potential candidates? Say, I would like to keep the seat open, but first have, in closed session, have a discussion of qualified candidates. So we can go in closed session, talk about it, and if we can't reach an impasse on a specific person, we can come back up and say, no, we want to keep it open.
I'd be glad to amend my motion to be voted on after a closed session.
Yeah, well, I think that's, is that?
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, that's the key right there, because
Yeah, but what I want to do is
Right.
see if we can just, without having to change his motion, just to go into closed session and discuss candidates. And then if we sit there and say the candidates, we can't think of anybody or anything, or we can't agree upon a candidate or a name, then we come back up and we say that, you know what, we don't want to start any kind of war amongst the board members on who to fill a seat with, so we can just do that, and I think that will just.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be agreeing on the candidate. I
No.
think you just be talking about
Yeah.
potential
Right.
candidates.
Yes,
There
that's
can't be
right.
any kind of
Specific.
decision that would be
No.
made there.
No, and then we come back up, decide that we can go from there. So you agree with that amendment? Yes.
Well, it hadn't been seconded, so
Oh,
he did make it.
I'll second it.
Oh,
I hope somebody wrote it. Who's taking our?
Got that, Mr. Sump?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think that, well, I guess it's fine. I was going to say, you could call it into closed session because it's on the agenda.
Well, but he changed his motion. So the motion is that I want to make sure. The motion is that we support leaving the position vacant after discussing specific possible candidates for an appointment in closed session.
Sounds good. And it's been seconded. Any further discussion?
No, we don't vote.
We can't vote.
We can't vote. You just
Go into
close.
session.
you have to vote for the amendment, don't you?
No, I just seconded it.
No, but you have to vote whether the amendment goes forward or not.
Yeah, because it's not voting on a position, it's voting that we're gonna.
It's a.
Okay, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're just voting on a path.
Yeah, a path to, that's a good.
Yeah, Thompson, yeah. See, okay. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go to closed session. Okay, for.
We'll be here when you get back.
So,
We'll take care of it. Wait, you're taking your notebook.
Somebody has.
You got it.
Okay, we're back into open session. So, this being said, we have a motion to talk about. Mr. McDaniel, you want to state your motion again? Your original motion?
My motion is that we leave the position open until it's filled by the next election.
Okay. And it's been seconded by Ms.
Latham?
Is that- Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of Mr. McDaniel's motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Look what we got. We have a, okay, for is Mr. McDaniel, Ms. Latham, Ms. Sheffield. Against is Ms. Duke, Ms. Cloudy, and Ms. Hare.
So we have a, it failed.
So it fails. So, that being said, yes, 3-3 it fails. Yes, that's one of the things I've heard about.
No, it fails.
Okay,
So now you have to ask for another motion.
Appoint Tom Ferguson to the empty seat in place.
okay, so
Place three.
place three.
So
So,
that we nominate Tom Ferguson to place three. Or appoint.
yes. Okay, so we have a motion by Ms. Cloudy, a second. You just need a second to discuss.
I've got a question.
We,
This is to bring it to the next meeting to vote on, or are we voting to make it official right now? Okay.
okay, so we have,
I'll second it.
okay, so we have a second, a motion and a second to nominate Mr. Tom Ferguson. To appoint, I'm sorry, to appoint Mr. Tom Ferguson to place three. LISD School Board. Okay, yes, you get to speak to your motion.
Mr. Ferguson did not lose his election. He did step down from the position. However, although he stepped down, he is able to serve the board in the capacity that we need him as far as attending. He would be able to, I'm assuming, hopefully, attend meetings. I feel like we need someone there who knows where we've been going. Tom knows, he's been with us every step of the way for the past year in developing the strategic design. He was with us for our board goals. He was with us when we hired the superintendent. And so, knowing that he stepped down, he doesn't have aspirations to, it doesn't seem like he would have aspirations to run again. So he would be, in my opinion, doing us a favor by filling that seat and being able to keep an eye on the district, because it is ideal to have 7 eyes on the district. That's the way the board has been structured and set up. And he knows where we've been, and he knows where we're going, and he's supportive of the direction that we're in. And just as we saw minutes ago, I think we're going to come to situations where we need some person to break the vote. And I feel like Tom is ethical, he's hardworking, he knows the information. We don't have to retrain him. He's ready to go and keep it for a short term, fill that position, and keep us on our path.
Okay, who next speaks the motion? I will speak the motion. I feel more comfortable with 7 on board. It's an elected, and we are given through Texas law the option of filling that seat. I feel that that's important that we fill the seat. I'm sorry that Jeff left. I wish he hadn't. I understand now. I mean, life calls and you have to change your path. So I would prefer to fill the seat. To have the proper, I mean, it's 7 board members. We just saw what happens. I'm feeling there's no way to gauge if that's ever going to happen again, but I would like that safety net. And we have somebody that would be willing to step forward and fill that safety net for a year. And thus, everybody would know that that seat's open, so people that would like to be on the board can do it the way that we all did it, and that's fun. So would prefer to have it filled and filled with somebody that we don't have to train, so it's gotta be filled. So that's my feel. Would nobody else like to give any kind of, okay. This being said, if there's no further discussion, all in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay, so it's 3-3 against, so it fails. So there's no recourse.
Yeah, I think at least for now,
We can make another motion. Right? You can make
Any
a
motion, we can sit here all night, make motion back and forth if you want, it's like.
Well, I make a motion that we reconsider leaving the position vacant, and the reason I make that motion is when we discussed earlier, there were several of us that were on the fence of leaving it vacant or appointing someone. And I think we were all waiting to see what name was going to be thrown out there. And I think by leaving it vacant, we don't create ripples, as far as who you choose. Not that Mr. Ferguson's not an excellent candidate. My personal opinion, I don't want to be responsible for him having to drive back and forth to Waxahachie because I wasn't able to fund him a helicopter like I had promised a long time ago. But still working on that. And I also want to challenge us. I want to challenge us 6 to come together stronger as a board. And I know that
I guess I missed your motion. Is your motion to leave it vacant or to temporarily and discuss it further?
I'm sorry. My motion is to leave it vacant until the next called election. To reconsider leaving it vacant until the next called election.
We have a second, we didn't have a second.
No, we don't have a second
We
yet.
need a second on
Okay, I'm going to second that. Okay.
that. Okay, so. You all set?
I'm set.
Discussion?
I
Okay.
seconded it.
Okay, would you like to discuss?
Well, I feel like now we're running in circles. I mean, because that's the exact same motion.
Well, she wants to, the motion
Reconsider.
that was made before was just to keep it, officially was just to keep it open. But she's saying to reconsider it. So.
To reconsider it.
To reconsider
To reconsider
it, yeah.
leaving it vacant because there were several of us that said either leave it vacant, that we would be on the fence of leaving it
Yeah,
vacant.
she wants to bring it back.
Right.
So, anybody else? Okay, well, that's being said.
Can I still speak to my motion?
You can speak to it.
One of the reasons that I want to reconsider this is that we put it to bed tonight. Obviously, the first name that was thrown out wasn't a go. I have a feeling we could all throw out a name and it wouldn't be a go. And I think if we all vote to leave it vacant, then it's done and settled. Am I right? If we say we're going to leave it vacant till the next called election, then it's vacant till the next called election, right?
Yes.
Right.
So, your motion was to leave it vacant until,
To reconsider leaving the position vacant until the next called election.
okay, well, that is the same. I thought she said something else.
It's the same as the first, so you don't need to say reconsider, it doesn't matter, it's just
Yeah,
semantics, it's just leave it vacant.
Well, we have, okay, all right, so it's been motioned and seconded. So, no further discussion?
But does it even need to be that because it is the same motion, which we've already voted on?
But, yeah, but we also did the other one, and we've talked a little bit more, and so if she wants to make a motion for anything, we can keep doing this all
I think her
night.
motion's kind of bringing it together and saying, let's just put this to bed and move on.
Well, yeah, but that's, okay. No further discussion, Errol? Okay. None? Stu? No?
No.
You look like you want to say something, that's fine now.
Well, my mind is just rushing. I have reservations about leaving the seat vacant just by the vote we're having today. And so my mind is just kind of spinning here. I almost believe that, I know everybody wants to do this, but I don't want to be rash. And it's only been a week. And, maybe we have to consider it and hold it till the next meeting that we have.
What we
I-
can do
you know,
is,
I-
what you can do is that we can, you can always bring it back up. I mean, if for some reason you think there's, especially if something else happens too, you know, or.
Yep, that's a good point.
You can always bring it back up.
That's what we are right now.
Well,
No,
but if
I-
our
no, I
motion
mean
says-
later on, if we
You
think
can't,
there's,
you can't prevent somebody from making a motion.
yeah, yeah.
And there's
That's what
no
she
thing to stop in the next meeting for somebody making a motion to, so I mean.
Well, it would need to be on the
It
agenda,
has to be,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we have to have 2 board members to put it on the agenda, correct?
unless the administration will.
Right.
I was gonna say, I don't think
Good
administration.
idea.
Can't see it, can't see it happening.
Okay, all right. Well, that being said, any other discussion we want to have? Have we beaten this horse to death?
It's did.
Okay, all in favor of the motion to leave the seat open? As stated by Ms. Lee. All in favor? Ms. Sheffield, Mrs. Carr, Ms. Lee. All opposed? Ms. Fowdy and Ms. Duke. Okay, that's being passed. Thank you all very much, and we'll have 6 members that, okay, better be at the meetings.
Yeah, right.
I will
You
not
break
be
your
there
arm, you
Monday
better
night.
be here, you know, if come in the sling, you know, but, okay, that's being said, and we're gonna move on to, the budget workshop, board workshop for the 2013 session.
All right, we're ready to begin this, and